So while we continue in this government shutdown, Trump has just fired 4,000 federal workers. And yes, that includes CDC scientists that, I don't know, track outbreaks. And this is hitting key agencies really hard. Like we have 1,300 at the IRS out. We have over 1,200 from Health and Human Services out. Dozens and dozens of CDC out. Like these are disease detectives being fired during a government shutdown. Now, the good thing is that federal unions are already suing, saying that these layoffs are illegal during a government shutdown. But you know, Trump, the Trump administration, they don't care. They were saying that these are non-essential employees. Like, be for real. Now, let's dive into those CDC firings. So here we have a reporter for the Washington Post. She tweeted, CDC hit hard by massive firings that several staff described to me as a bloodbath. Among those reduction in force are leadership of the Center for Immunization and Respiratory Diseases, leadership of the Global Health Center, leadership of the measles outbreak response. Like these are people that, hold on, these are people that have over 28 years of experience. And here she lists some more: Center for Forecasting and Analytics, all of CDC Washington, Office of Human Services, da 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 da. And then look what she says down here. These are the people who are typically the first responders in an outbreak. Like, you are letting go of these federal workers during a government shutdown? Like, what? I guess I shouldn't be surprised by what's taking place, to be honest. But as always, thank you for watching the Mexican Millennial. And don't forget to like and follow if you want to stay up there on current events. And go Dogs.
On Friday, the Trump administration terminated about 4,000 federal employees, and over a quarter of them were from Health and Human Services or our public health agencies. Trump told reporters that the terminations would be Democrat-oriented, which was his strategy to target programs that he believed to be favored by Democratic officials. As if public health programs that keep contaminated food and water from ending up on your table or stop deadly outbreaks before they spread only help Democratic voters. As a result, several experts and insiders warned that the CDC, which was uniquely targeted, was being eviscerated and left not functional, which is extremely concerning, to say the least. Now, after thousands of federal workers received notice of termination on Friday, yesterday the administration came out and said that some of those terminations were a mistake. Critical staff working on a current outbreak of Ebola across the world that they want to keep contained. And they appear to be allowing some of the federal workers to come back. Similar to the mistakes they made back in February when DOJ terminated a bunch of very important federal employees and then said, oops, we need to bring them back. Now, they're calling these mistakes, but please remember that Russ Vought is the head of OMB. Here he is announcing these terminations on X. Russ was one of the authors of Project 2025, which was a blueprint for dismantling the federal government. And he has previously said that he wanted federal employees to feel traumatized. Before the election, he said about his plan, quote, when they wake up in the morning, we want them to not go to work because they are increasingly viewed as the villains. We want to put them in trauma. This from a man who calls himself a Christian and wants to run the country with Christian principles, which apparently to him means inflicting trauma on thousands of people working for their government. Maybe these terminations were mistakes, or maybe they're part of the trauma that they want federal employees to feel.
Since the government shut down, you guys, Trump has fired lots and lots of employees from different departments, okay, y'all? And it's been over, it's been thousands, low-key, okay? So the Department of Education, y'all, lost 466 employees. The Department of Commerce has lost 315 employees. The Department of Energy, 187. The Department of Health and Human Services, y'all, that's 1,200 employees that has lost their jobs. The Department of Housing and Urban Development lost 442 employees. The Department of Homeland Security, 176 employees have been fired. And the Department of Treasury, y'all, they've lost 1,446 employees. So we're watching them, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, y'all, fire people since this government shut down, and people are losing their jobs. Things are getting very much, has already been serious since Trump has gotten into the office. Honestly, if you ask me, ever since before Biden even got out of the fucking office last year, September, things have been crazy as hell. And this really is just, the icing on the cake. But I just wanted to let y'all know the firings and how much people are being affected by this government shutdown.
It is now day 12 of the government shutdown, and two updates to share with you guys. First, remember how I said the Trump administration started mass firings and layoffs of federal workers? Well, we are now learning that the Trump administration mistakenly laid off workers from the CDC. We were told that some of those employees were working on Ebola outbreaks in Africa, measles outbreaks here in the United States. And we have been talking a lot about how troops would go unpaid if Congress does not reach a deal to fund the government. Well, there's still no deal, but President Trump put out this social media post saying that he is directing his Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, to use all available funds to pay the military. And of course, here answering your questions on the shutdown, so drop them below.
So the Trump administration and the U.S. Department of Education has fired nearly everyone in the Office of Special Education and Rehabilitative Services in a wave of new layoffs that began Friday. This department is responsible for funding special ed programs and education in public schools. As of Friday, nearly 500 Education Department employees have been laid off, and there are more firings and layoffs to come. This right here shows how much of this funding goes exactly to public schools. So that means that children with special needs, including children with hearing disabilities, children with autism, vision impairment, any child that has a special ed disability will not receive the required funding necessary for special ed services in the public school system.
Donald Trump just came on during a press conference saying that he is coming for federal workers who are Democrat oriented. He's going to fire you if you're a Democrat, and he's using the federal shutdown as an opportunity to do it. This is Project 2025. This is authoritarian. This is scary. You need to be talking about this. I'm just a mom who's nervous for her daughter's future. If you're nervous too, you need to be talking about it, make videos, share, talk to your friends, talk to your family. This is not normal. The president of the United States, just came on and said he is coming for Democratic-oriented federal workers.
Good morning, everyone. We have some interesting news as mass firings are starting across the federal government. The Trump administration has begun its mass firing of federal workers due to the government shutdown. In a post on Twitter, White House Budget Director Russ Vought said, "The RIF have begun," referring to the substantial reduction of the federal workforce. Of course, the administration threatened the firings at the start of the government shutdown, which was on October 1st, and now they are going through with them. This is absolute bullshit, and I really hope a judge blocks this. You know, on top of denying back pay to all of these workers, this administration is taking their jobs in an already horrible job economy. I mean, you cannot find a job for the life of you. They need to be shut down before they continue to make this country worse than they already have, because it's not looking great right now, and, you know, the way they're going, it's not going to be great in any time soon. You know, there's no reason for them to fire these workers other than their own interests, which is fucked up on another level. It genuinely is. With that being said, thank you everyone for watching this video. Like and repost to get the information out, and drop a follow for more news content. Later.
Nearly every single employee within the Department of Education's office that deals with special education.
I know I've said on here multiple times that I've done special education advocacy, and I have said numerous times that I have autistic kiddos. And I need y'all to understand, especially in the state of New Jersey. New Jersey is 50 out of 50 when it comes to having classrooms that are inclusive classrooms. Okay, like it's very hard to get the state of New Jersey to do what they're supposed to fucking do when it comes to disabled children. Especially without the threat of the federal government. Like, this has just made it so much fucking harder to advocate for kids and their rights in public schools. Especially in red states. Because, like, if that threat from the federal government isn't there, they're not going to do right by those kids. Okay. And it's impossible in the state of New Jersey to get kids to have appropriate accommodations. Almost impossible. Like, you're fighting tooth and nail. I knew this was coming, but it's not just about the funding. It's never just about the funding. Like, yes, it's about the funding but also, fuck, god damn it.
So the government mass firings because of the government shutdown have begun. we knew it was going to happen. It was a plan all along, so nobody's surprised, I hope. But this is what Donald Trump said about the logic and the process they will follow to decide who gets fired. And I'm going to read you the exact statement he said. He said it will be Democrat-oriented because we figure, they started this thing, so they should be Democrat-oriented. And I started writing down the statutes, the federal laws, that a statement like that violates, and that it would violate if it were actually carried out. And it's so many that I got distracted. So I'm going to pick it up tomorrow and I'm going to do a video about it. Oh, and by the way, just in case somebody's wondering, all of it was in Project 2025. The Project 2025 that was written by Russell Vought, who is now in charge of workforce reduction and the firings. The same Project 2025 that Trump said he knew nothing about. And some of you believed it. And I think that is, at the end, the saddest thing of all.
All right, for those who have not been keeping score, a brief catch up on the State of the Union. So he illegally fired 4,000 employees after he shut down the government. He has fired thousands and thousands of federal employees. His jobs report horrible every month. Nobody can find a job. Prices, they're not cheaper. They're actually gone up under his administration when he promised to lower them on day one. He's waging war against American citizens in American cities, blue cities, using military and federal agents. He has not kept any of his promises. He has taken away constitutional rights for a variety of marginalized communities. Building a military base for another country on U.S. soil. So much for America first. So, are we great yet? I'm just checking because things don't seem too great. Oh, yeah. And then all the people he has in the positions of the government are completely incompetent, just like he is.
Donald Trump is a virus. 1,000 federal workers have officially been fired due to Donald Trump's government shutdown, and this included a Friday night massacre at the CDC. Dozens of disease detectives, high-level scientists, the entire Washington staff, and editors of the Morbidity and Mortality Weekly Report have all been reduction in force, which is a way that Trump gets rid of them, basically, and received the following notice. And as Nicholas Kristof writes, why does the Trump administration side with viruses over people? Well, Nicholas, it's quite simple. Donald Trump is a virus. He really is. Donald Trump and this strand of MAGA that preys on people's empathy, love, compassion, sense of community, democracy, the damage that this movement has done propping up this dopey, dozy, demented authoritarian on we the people, on a once great nation, is something that frankly is unfreaking forgivable.
So while we continue in this government shutdown, Trump has just fired 4,000 federal workers. And yes, that includes CDC scientists that, track outbreaks. And this is hitting key agencies really hard. Like we have 1,300 at the IRS out. We have over 1,200 from Health and Human Services out. Dozens and dozens of CDC out. Like these are disease detectives being fired during a government shutdown. Now, the good thing is that federal unions are already suing, saying that these layoffs are illegal during a government shutdown. But the Trump administration, they don't care. They were saying that these are non-essential employees. Like, be for real. Now, let's dive into those CDC firings. So here we have a reporter for the Washington Post. She tweeted, CDC hit hard by massive firings that several staff described to me as a bloodbath. Among those reduction in force are leadership of the Center for Immunization and Respiratory Diseases, leadership of the Global Health Center, leadership of the measles outbreak response. Like these are people that, these are people that have over 28 years of experience. And here she lists some more: Center for Forecasting and Analytics, all of CDC Washington, Office of Human Services, da 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 da. And then look what she says down here. These are the people who are typically the first responders in an outbreak. Like, you are letting go of these federal workers during a government shutdown? Like, what? I guess I shouldn't be surprised by what's taking place, to be honest. But as always, thank you for watching the Mexican Millennial. And don't forget to like and follow if you want to stay updated on current events. And go dogs.